aka Dr. Spotfire, and I are here today to give you a bit of a primer for the Analytics Forum next week. We're joined by a bunch of special guests, speakers at the event. And if you haven't seen the event website, then go check it out. It's pretty cool. It tells you what's going on around the conference. So you can see across the top, the keynote speakers, and then the different tracks, for the 3 days that we're going to run through and give you a bit of a preview of today. So let's see. If we think about the theme of the conference, it's analytics in time and space. And if you think about that, a lot of your analyses have got either a temporal or a spatial aspect to them. And we're going to highlight some of the cool techniques for working with data like that. We've got some really awesome guest speakers. Nadi Bremer, who's a data viz guru, data visualization artist, formerly an astronomer, data scientist. She's going to do a fireside chat with me on visual analytics, really cool stuff that she does. Ben Schneiderman got a new book, Human-Centered AI. He was the founder of the Human-Computer Interaction Lab at the University of Maryland, where actually Spotfire had its birth. So two terrific guest speakers. Nadi's session, she's going to cover a lot of her interesting work that she's done with Scientific American, Sony Music, UNESCO, you name it, really interesting visualizations. She's a JavaScript expert as well as a data viz expert and a data viz artist. Her session is it kicks it off on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific time, June 13th, next Monday. And the idea is with Nadi's JavaScript excellence and so on that we want to inspire you because, we've just added a whole bunch of mods to Spotfire. And Nicholas Amundsen is going to go through some of those. And then the live session on Monday, June 13th, right after Nadi, 8:15, Spotfire mods, the latest and greatest visualizations. We're going to show you, Jose and Neil are going to show you how to build these mods from scratch. So inspired by Nadi's work.
Yeah. In 15 minutes, we're going to go all the way from absolutely nothing to creating a whole custom visualization that you can just drag and drop right into Spotfire. It's going to be really cool. And Nadia's book is just absolutely awesome. I totally recommend it for anyone interested in data visualization or in the data world. It's just rich, full of content. Every page is a piece of art. Every page is just meticulously put together. It's fantastic. I got it for myself, and it's quite a lot of content there I've been going through over the
it's absolutely fantastic book to have on your coffee table, and it's just inspiring to see the amount of detail that Nadi goes through. In addition to going through some of those case studies, she's going to tell us how she works. So from conception to JavaScript and all the whole journey that she goes through there. So very, very cool kickoff and day two with Ben, talking about the human-centered AI and his latest book. On human-centered AI, it's really getting some rave reviews. I think it was up at number 4 on the Amazon AI book list. So you'll see Ben giving his latest and greatest for that. And, Ben was also known for inventing the tree map. And this is a tree map that Ben created looking at carbon dioxide in the air. The size of these boxes is the CO2 emission for different countries, and the color varies by the per capita CO2 emissions. And Ben did this for 2010 data, from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. And we updated that to go into the other years from 2010 to 2020. This is what Ben called a slice and dice tree map. We've also implemented through Spotfire mods the Merimeko and other variants on the tree map. And there's the cover of Ben's book, which is definitely a very cool treatise. And then on day 3, Neil and I are going to run a session on analytics in time and space, part 2, where we're going to give you a live view on some of the work that we've been doing with mods and data functions and other analytics for looking at data that's time-based and geospatial data.
So much to talk about with data in time and space. So we have lots of data visualization tips. It's useful for anyone that's doing data visualization. We do a lot in Spotfire, so it can be inspirational for all the Spotfire users, but tons of geoanalytics, and I think we're the king of real-time data, so we have some real-time streaming stuff going on in there as well.
Yeah, there's so much that you typically do with time-based data. Usually you get time on the x-axis and do forecasts or, predictions, or look at is your process compliant across time, or lots of different time granularities, all the way from sub-second to weekly or quarterly, and then geospatial is a really strong part of Spotfire, and we'll get into that, not just geography but data on other types of spatial representations. So it's going to be fun. But look, I think we're going to now go through a preview of some of the key speakers at the event. And Neil, do you want to take us through these? I mean, I can click the slides, or you can.
Yeah, no, I got it on my screen now, but I just want to welcome in Nicholas Ambertson. So Nicholas, you want to say hi to everyone on LinkedIn and YouTube?
Yeah, thank you. In my keynote session at the TIBCO Analytics Forum, I will show you how the new capabilities of Spotfire can help you in your daily work, whether you're an analyst, if you have a business function, or if you're in IT delivering Spotfire services to the organization. So the 4 major areas I will be covering is in the area of decision making. So many organizations are striving towards making decisions more informed by analytics and BI. And I will talk about new capability in Spotfire that has the potential to transform your business by making it faster and easier to implement decisions based on visual analytics. I will also be talking about how Spotfire helps you make effective use of data science in your organization by letting you deploy, govern models and algorithms to anyone in the organization through Spotfire. I will also cover a number of feature requests from the TIBCO user community that we have been addressing. And in the last area, I will be speaking about that is for you that have the job of administering and deploying Spotfire for your organization. So we have some quite big news in this area. You'll find we made it easier to deploy Spotfire in the cloud, in hybrid cloud, in multi-cloud, or on-premises using industry standard methods and tools. And in addition to that, I will also be giving you a glimpse of the future plans for Spotfire.
Yeah, so it's going to be really exciting. There's, we don't want to give away too much, but we see they're providing updates, including Spotfire 12. That sounds like that's going to be some exciting big news. And then all those Spotfire users have been putting their ideas on the ideas portal as enhancement requests. I'm sure we're going to see some cool things coming out from that, and some inspirations from the community going into the product. And so, Nicholas, I'm excited to hear more about Spotfire 12 and get my hands on Spotfire 12.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited too.
Thanks, Nicholas. Yeah.
Thanks, Nicholas.
We also have,
Actually, I will be speaking to Magnus Rylander's
okay.
slides as well.
Okay.
So Magnus and Bruno Soleris and Glenn Hoskins will be presenting one of the new features, which is Spotfire Cloud Actions. And in that session, you will learn how about the new Actions feature that allows you to trigger automated workflows, update databases, control IoT devices, and add nodes to CRM systems or what have you, without having to leave the Spotfire analysis. So making it faster and easier to make data-driven decisions. You'll also see how this works under the hood, how you can build and configure these systems with no-code interfaces, and examples of actions used in some industry use cases.
It's really exciting. Cloud Actions. So I can't imagine Cloud Actions. That sounds like it's going to be a whole new paradigm for Spotfire.
Well, Spotfire is so good at finding insights, then the next thing you want to do is take an action on the insight, right, Nicholas?
Absolutely. That's what I've been thinking all the time.
That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that one.
Well, thanks for sharing with us, Nicholas. We're excited for your sessions. Looking forward to it. So this session on Cloud Actions looks like that's Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. Pacific. That's 10:45 a.m. Central for all the conference attendees, to make sure that you attend that and learn more about Cloud Actions. Thanks for joining us, Nicholas, today.
Absolutely. Cheers, Nicholas. So Nelson, innovating with data analytics and TIBCO Labs. Excited to have the global CTO from TIBCO on the TAF agenda this year again. So Nelson, welcome today. And we've got a couple of slides here for you to just talk through today about your presentation. So let's advance those, Neil.
All right, perfect. No, thanks, Michael. Thanks, Neil. And definitely excited to be speaking at the TIBCO Analytics Forum. This is actually, my session is going to cover a lot of what we're doing with TIBCO Labs. TIBCO Labs is an innovation program really focused on collaborating with customers and partners. And it's a collaborative effort between your team, Michael, as well as the Office of the CTO on a number of different technology topics. And so for this particular session, if we move to the next slide, a few of the areas that we're going to cover are things like edge analytics. Most organizations now, as you know, are looking to push analytics to the edge, reduce that decision latency, optimize the data that's being moved, and even do things like computer vision. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how we can handle and process and understand data relationships. You talk about time and space. Well, data relationships are critical across time and space. And understanding the relationships between your data and the data entities and attributes can be very critical to key use cases and key decision making. And then finally, we also know that there's a lot of interest in the topic of data privacy. And so if you've wondered how do you incorporate techniques like synthetic data generation for the purposes of data privacy, talk about federated learning, again, for the purposes of model creation, model training in the context of privacy, and also just in terms of generating more data. We talk about maybe having too much data in many cases, but in other circumstances, you want to generate more data, whether it's time series data, data relationships, or other data attributes that you want to share, both between your own organization and across organizations. So definitely, our session is going to be focused around all these particular topics. So be sure to check it out. You can learn about each one of these areas and see what TIBCO Labs is doing to innovate in this space.
Fantastic, Nelson. I love the different timescales you've got. Like in the IoT side, it can be very low latency, event-driven, and so on. And then in business process, the timescale can be not even regular. It can be, some parts of the business process can happen right away, and other parts can take a while. So, the kind of different granularities of time that you've got in your different use cases, and with real customers behind each of them is pretty cool. So,
absolutely, we're going to share that as well.
Absolutely looking forward to it, Nelson. See you next week.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Yeah, cheers.
So many great things coming out of TIBCO Labs. I can't wait to see what you guys got going on.
Yeah, definitely the IoT and the business process stuff is pretty awesome to check out for sure. Anyway, Neil, do you want to? Neil, this is you.
This is me and Jose.
Jose, yeah. So
the Dr. Spotfire team. There we are.
Team, we're going to give us the latest and greatest on graphics and visualizations. I'm assuming this is going to have a bunch of Spotfire mods in it. Is it?
Oops. Sorry. Yeah. We're going to be talking about Spotfire mods, and Jose, we're going to do what we're going to do is showcase. So we show off all the different Spotfire mods that are available, give you a sense of how easy it is to just plug and play and use them right away. And then we're going to go into a really cool demo where Jose, you're going to show us how to build a whole mod from scratch, right? You want to talk a little bit about that?
That's right, Neil. Yes, I'm planning to create a mod from scratch in 15 minutes, from zero to just drag and drop and make it available for everyone in the organization to use and share.
And just like a little sneak peek, that screenshot you're seeing behind the demo tile in that bottom right quadrant, that's what we're going to show you how to make. It's a difference plot. So without giving away too much, you're going to learn how to make that kind of difference plot. And we're going to work with axes. We're going to work with sizing the visualization. We're going to work with formatting, and we're going to work with setting up the environment so you can get going developing your own mod. So a lot to do and a lot to cover in that session.
It looks like two different time series that are on the same fine-grained resolution that you're going to work with at once, right?
That's right. It's the difference between two different time series, right, Jose?
Yes, that's right. And for the no-coders, for irregular users, you can download a bunch of mods also from the community, so you can just use them with no code required.
Right.
Yeah, now that is so awesome, and we're so excited to have Jose part of our data science team at TIBCO. He's got a really famous blog, and he gets hands-on. We get down and dirty with Jose and Neil and Dr. Spotfire on a regular basis. I'm super excited to see this one. It looks like it's Monday, June 13th, 8:15 a.m. Pacific time, pretty much right after the keynote, and excited to have you guys getting hands-on and down and dirty with data right on the screen there at TAF.
Yeah, it was one of the first sessions, so we're going to kick it off strong with the Dr. Spotfire team and the mods mods development cycle. So.
Well, we kind of set it up that way because we thought Nadi is such a great JavaScript developer. We wanted to get all inspired by that and fire it up, and then hand off to you guys to actually show it in action right in Spotfire.
Yeah, it'll be a tough act to follow following Nadi because she's an absolute data viz guru. But hopefully we can inspire our community to see what they can create in JavaScript visualizations.
Very cool, guys. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jose, for joining us today.
Next, we have anomaly detection and manufacturing. And let me go ahead and bring on, we have Mike Alperin and Adam Faskowitz. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, great. Hi.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, good to see you guys. I know you guys have got a lot going on, and you're going to take us through a little bit of a preview today. And it looks like on the screen there, you've got time series data and process control and anomaly detection, all kinds of stuff. Tell us what you got going to show us next Tuesday.
Yeah, so I mean, anomalies are kind of rare, unusual events or observations, and they're often distinct from the rest of the population. And yeah, there are many types of anomalies, right? There are anomalies in time series, there can be anomalies in space and spatial distributions, and even anomalies in the frequency domain. And each one of these anomalies could require, different detection methods. Some are going to be present in a single variable. Some might be present in kind of multiple variables and represent complex interactions. So we're going to show, 4 different examples of anomalies that kind of span this space. Simple kind of univariate statistical process control. Another one that's kind of a complex AI-based autoencoder model. A third one will be frequency in the frequency domain. So that's kind of listening to sounds of machines to determine whether the sounds are anomalous. And then the last one will be spatial distributions on semiconductor wafer maps. And
that's an incredible
just kind of a quick comment about this.
Incredible selection of different data sources.
It is. It is, and it's just kind of the tip of the iceberg, with the kinds of things that we're doing in Spotfire. And just a little bit of kind of a backstory here. Manufacturers are just inundated with this blizzard of data from many, many different data sources. And one of the keys is what to do with all that data. And this is where the anomaly detection really helps. In routine production, the vast majority of this data basically can be safely ignored since it just indicates that things are behaving normally. But the anomaly detection highlights things that are actually actionable. We detect an anomaly, we may want to investigate them to generate insights or even to take some kind of an action. And you can see here, these anomalies can detect things like bottlenecks in the factory or unusual failure patterns in products, unstable processes, abnormal machine behavior.
Well, that's awesome, and you guys have got a good tag team going on because Mike, you are just a long-time veteran in this space, know all the use cases, and Adam, you're jumping right in and doing some data science methods to surface the patterns in wafer maps and everything else, right?
Yeah, excited to show some of those use cases. So yeah, one of them is our wafer map pattern classification. It recently was published into our demo gallery for you to actually go online and use, but we're going to be going through that in this session. It's very cool. You're able to actually, as a user, tag some patterns, create models, and a very simple to use dashboard. That's
awesome. Yeah. And I think I saw, if you go back one slide, Neil, we had some sound data as well coming off the equipment, right? So yeah, that second one there, that's pretty cool. So you actually listening to machines make noise and figure out, what's different about them, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so what we're seeing right there is actually we're able to translate that noise into basically these images, and then we can run different machine learning algorithms to actually detect when the anomalies come up. So it's pretty interesting how we're able to translate sound into just that little image right there.
No, that is absolutely awesome. Well, look, guys, thanks for joining. This is one of my most sessions I'm most excited about, and you guys have picked a really good cross section of examples to show the users, show off your techniques in univariate, multivariate, patterns on in space, patterns in time. You guys really picked up the theme of the conference pretty well. So we'll look forward to that next week.
Yep,
Thank
sounds
you guys
good.
for joining.
Thanks. Yep.
Yeah, thanks for joining today.
Looking forward to seeing it. We got, I think, one more today from Dave Canterbury. So let's say hello to Dave. How are you doing?
Hey Neil. Hey Michael. How's it going? Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Dave, look, Data on Fire. This is like a part of the TAF brand. We've been doing this session for the last couple of years. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
And Dave, you're going to take us through all the products and like we normally do, right? Can you tell us what the context of the use case is?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always excited about this session. For this particular year, we chose a very interesting use case. And as you mentioned, this is one of those sessions where the rubber meets the road, right? So people can actually see how all these different solutions come together. And for this year, we chose a very interesting, well completions use case. And this is something that we put together with one of our partners, Ribbit. And there are a lot of challenges around this, as you can imagine. The one thing I would say is the way we have positioned this is, even though we are using this as the backdrop to showcase how all these different solutions and products come together, we are hoping that people who are outside of the space still see how all of this works as well. But
Right.
As I said, we plan to use the well completions as our canvas to kind of showcase, the challenges that come with having multiple different vendors, having data silos, having issues with formats, having issues with frequencies. Some of this in real time, some of this is daily data. So there is a very interesting problem, and it lends itself really well to showcase our hyperconverged analytics approach.
No, absolutely. It's the data coming off the equipment in real time, getting merged in with data that's changing daily, or data that is just doesn't change very much at all. So you've really taken on this different granularities in the time series data in terms
Exactly. And I think it also fits really well into the overall theme of TAF this year, which is, both the time and space. So as you mentioned, there's a real nice real-time component to all of these data. But more importantly, there's also a geospatial component. So we're very excited to show some of the capabilities around that. And I have an incredible set of presenters who will be joining me for that session. So it's not just me talking about it. You'll actually see a lot of people, dig deeper into this and see how all these different solutions come together. And as I was saying, the fact that, we chose this was primarily because, one, it has all those different things we talked about, real-time data, geoanalytics, and also it is one of those things that requires multiple personas to come together. And this was a great way for us to showcase these very specific, tailored user experiences that TIBCO has to offer, and how it actually helps out these larger organizations to build out real-time business applications.
No, absolutely. So you've got people in Spotfire, you've got people in our data management software, data virtualization, master data management, EPX,
That's
and
right.
so on, data science, and you got the whole enchilada of data management and analytics, right, Dave?
That's exactly right. So everything from business analyst who needs to do some visual analytics, to a data steward who needs to actually go in and create that golden record, to a data engineer who needs to kind of abstract and federate all of this and provide it to the data scientist and completions engineer, provide those custom views that they need, and then embedding advanced analytics into the same visual analytics layer, and finally the completions engineer kind of bringing it all together.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Dave, I'm looking forward to this session, and we'll see you there with bells on. Neil, what day is this one on? I think it's on Tuesday, isn't it?
It's Tuesday, right? The 14th, right? 14th of June. Yeah.
Me too.
And it's a general session, so the entire audience is invited. It's not just it's not breakouts where you're competing with other sessions. It's like you got to bring everybody back, as is our tradition. Bring everybody back into the room for this one. So thanks, Dave, for joining us today.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave.
So Neil, how are we going to wrap it up? I think you want to go through the slides, or you want me to?
If you have them up, you can go through. I think I have them right here. Let me see. We have analytics and time and space. We got some cool stuff to talk about. So this is how our Our session is going to wrap up today with a little bit of preview on how the whole conference is oriented and themed around time and space applications of analytics. And so with time, we have so many different examples. This live session is going to be at 7 a.m. on 7 a.m. Pacific on Wednesday, June 15th. And you see here a little bit of that difference plot that Jose and I were talking about earlier with that custom visualization mod. We see some super smoothers behind here with the COVID-19 dashboard. We see some anomaly detection, some multi-dimensional anomaly detection, multivariate.
Multivariate statistical process control kind of use case there I can see for sure. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff there, Neil. I think we've got also, component contribution analysis there. So, when you find an anomaly, what's the root cause? I think I see some of that in there. And then I think, also just trending data with respect to you bringing together weather data or other data that's measured across time to try and do cross correlation in time series, find out causal and correlated effects. So yeah, analytics in time is going to be awesome. And you saw some of the examples that people were talking about they're bringing forward in their individual sessions as well. But what about analytics in space, Neil? I know this is a real focus area for you. And it's always been exciting to me that, it's not just about geography, right? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can look at spatial data.
Yeah, we're going to have another preview of TAF tomorrow where I'm going to talk a little bit about the location analytics that we're going to cover. So we have some geocoding, we have routing, we have trade areas, lots of rich geoanalytical applications in Spotfire. There's a little bit of some anomaly detection here that Adam was talking about earlier. We have some Voronoi tessellations for clustering and looking at some clinic locations across a map. We have some binning, spatial binning. So there's going to be a lot of topics that we're going to discuss the principles behind time and the principles behind space in these analytic applications.
Yeah, and it's not just geography. On the top right-hand corner, I see a map of the San Francisco airport there. I know I'm a frequent user of that facility. So
Jet setter.
No, I just know that where to go there to get the edible food and stuff like that. No, it's really cool that that's all interactive, and it's just amazing. I've never ceased to be amazed how in Spotfire you can do an arbitrary marking on a map and then run an analysis on it, whether it's a Voronoi tessellation or a contour analysis or a distance calculation. I mean, it's just Spotfire is so awesome at doing analytics in space. So really looking forward to your session in that, Neil. But this is also the keynote that wraps up the conference. We're going to get into that as well. So in summary, look at the 3 days. The first day is Nadi with her great data viz work, JavaScript based, and that's sort of motivating a day of visual analytics. Tobias and Nicholas, talking about Spotfire and the whole portfolio and getting into mods and everything. Day 2 is a little bit more about on the AI side with Ben talking, and then Vijay and others on the Web Focus side. Great new features in Web Focus around AI suggestions, NLQ, instant insights, and so on. And then Dave, you heard Dave today talking about the end-to-end data management analytics for Data on Fire session. And then day 3 being kicked off by our Chief Operating Officer, Matt Quinn, talking about, looking back at data and looking forward at how that's driving analytics. And then Neil and I bookending the conference with our work has been going on for a while on visual analytics in time and space, this incredible hackathon, and then training, a good chunk of training, like all of day 3. So we are super excited about TAF. Neil, that was a fun session, getting all those folks together. Right.
Get the few people we have left on the call just to say hi. There's Dave and Jose and Adam and Porter. Porter's going to have some previews tomorrow for us with Web Focus. That's right, Porter. If you want to say hi real quick. I know I threw you on here at the last minute.
Dave, sorry, Neil. Unflappable, okay? I did not know you were going to put me on. Anyway,
really put you on the spot.
Going into a little more depth tomorrow. Super excited to share what we're going to have going on at TAF.
No, it's going to be great, Porter. Day 2 is like a Web Focus jam session. We're all really excited about that. And look, Jose, Dave, Adam, I know it's going to just be fantastic next week, and great to have you guys on today. So I think we're going to wrap it up here, Neil. We're right on time. And please come along to part 2 tomorrow, as we have a bunch of other folks sharing the previews of their work, including Porter and Jose, Adam, Dave. Thanks for your contributions today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Have a good
Neil.
one.
Thank you, Michael. Bye-bye.